If you want to add a shadow to text in EverWeb, there are a couple of easy ways to do it. The first way is by using the Shape Options tab. Highlight the text that you want to add a shadow to, then go to the Shape Options tab and tick the shadow box. A default shadow is placed behind the selected text. The shadow is offset from the text by 6 pixels, with a blur of 6 and an opacity set at 75% to create the default shadow. To change the shadow, first highlight the text. Then change the offset to alter the distance between the text and the shadow. Use blur to diffuse the shadow. If you set blur to 0, the shadow will become solid, and at 99 it will become completely diffuse. Use opacity to set the transparency of the shadow. At 100%, the shadow is completely opaque. At 0, it is completely transparent. Use these settings in combination to achieve the effect that you want. Use the color swatch to set the shadow color, and use the rotation wheel to adjust the angle of the shadow relative to the text. The second option is to use the font panel, which can be accessed via the toolbar or using the Command+T shortcut key toggle. The fifth button from the left in the Fonts panel is the Text Shadow On/Off toggle. If you have no shadow on your text, click on this button first. The button immediately to the right is the Text Shadow Color button, which opens the color picker so you can choose the color of the shadow. The 4 controls to the right of the buttons have the following functions. The triangle symbol slider is used for shadow opacity. If the slider is set at the left, the shadow appears invisible. If the shadow is set to the right, the shadow color will be completely opaque. The square symbol with the shadow background lets you adjust the shadow blur. When set at the left end of the slider, there will be no blur. When set at the right end, the shadow will be completely diffused and so will not be visible. The square symbol slider is used to offset the shadow from the text. When set at the left, there is no offset, so you will not see a shadow. At the right end of the slider, you will have the shadow at maximum offset. Use the rotation wheel to change the angle of the shadow as required.